Welcome to Sailing Soulianis. I'm Kirk, this is Lauren, and our baby girl Renata. We just sold our first sailboat that we'd spent the last 4 years cruising on, and now we're on the hunt for our next boat. Can you say bye-bye, babe?
Can you say bye, boat?
Bye.
Bye, tartan. Welcome to present time. It's October 2022. Literally, right now.
It's a beautiful fall day here in Michigan.
Last episode, we shared with everyone that we are hoping to get a trailerable trimaran.
It's definitely exciting. There's no doubt about it.
Trailerable trimaran. I still cannot say that. It's a mouthful to say.
This choice may have come as a bit of a surprise to many of you. The normal choice would have been a much larger cruising catamaran, but we're doing things a little bit differently for the next few years. Where on our first boat we sailed without kids, and in our next boat, after this one, will be maybe a around the world cruising catamaran or multi-hull of some sort, where we can bring the whole fam dam along with us.
Yes.
But on this boat,
this is like the little boat.
This is the little boat.
The little in-between boat.
We're gonna be a little bit closer to home for a while, but we wanna still be able to take voyages. And by having a trailerable boat, it's going to allow us to not be stuck sailing in our home waters all the time. We're still gonna be able to go on adventures.
And the thing that we are looking for is a boat that we can spend multiple weeks to a month on to still actually cruise.
And feel comfortable.
And so that's what we're really hunting for.
That's a tough little niche to find.
Can we find a trailerable trimaran that we can cruise as a family on?
That I can do this on. And not bump my head up against the top of the frame here.
So, let's see if we can find this boat. The idea that our next boat might be a trimaran originated back in 2019. Our boat had just been struck by lightning and we were stuck living in a boatyard making repairs. As any cruising sailor would agree, the boatyard is often a necessary evil, and it can be kind of depressing the longer you're stuck there.
We've been in the market for a trimaran now for 3 years, I think. We've looked at probably a dozen.
This was one of the biggest reasons why, when we decided our next boat would be a multi-hull, we also wanted it to be trailerable too. There are plenty of benefits to being trailerable, but avoiding boatyards was a top priority.
Look at that band spinning.
That is nuts. And not to mention, hurricanes. But we'll get into that in a moment.
So in this episode, we're gonna do a little bit of time traveling and take you along on an adventure to go look at a few of the boats that we've seen. We are on our way to see a Farrier 33 trimaran. It is one of the largest trailerable trimarans available on the market. In fact, this one, you may even need a wide load permit in some states. We've also looked at a Corsair 31, actually last summer when we were up in Michigan.
This was the very first trimaran we ever went to see in person.
There's also a Corsair 36, which is technically trailerable. Although I think if we were to go much larger than the Farrier 33, we would need a different tow vehicle. I don't think Chip would handle it, and even the 33's kind of pushing it. We're driving up Highway 24 next to Kentucky Lake, and we are going to be driving over the Kentucky Lake Lock and Dam that we went under or through with Soulianis 2 years ago when we brought the boat down the river system. Right down there. Cool.
No, it's been almost 3.
Has it?
Yeah, October.
Wow. Yeah, we anchored right under this bridge.
Oh, look at there's a boat coming through. When I say boat, I mean tow. Wow, that was wild.
Yeah, we anchored right in that corner.
Little sandy part.
It was fitting that we were crossing our previous path at the most difficult point of our journey south on the river. Here we put Mr. Beak to the ultimate test, pushing our 20,000-pound boat into nearly 5 knots of swiftly moving current. A Of course, we didn't travel down the rivers just to get from A to B, but it was hard not to compare with how easy this would be to make the same trip, trailering our boat behind Chip.
What was that about corn?
There's an old saying that the corn is knee-high by the 4th of July. Back here. Cool.
Wow, that's a lot of storage.
Yeah, that's the whole
There's a
thing
bunch
right
of
there.
space up there. Now it's on cross out, so now the,
Oh, yeah.
know the story of Princess with the P?
Yeah,
That's my wife.
that's
So-
a cushy bed. Yeah, there's more room.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We always knew that the Tartan, while a very capable boat, would not be our last boat. And the next boat that we're buying also will most likely not be our last boat. While being very well built and capable of crossing oceans, it's probably not the boat that we are going to sail around the world on. Actually, in fact, I know it's not the boat because it is a rather small boat. However, what it will do is give us more experience on multi-hulls.
Yes, because we don't have enough experience to go take a multi-hull around the world anyway.
Right. Has it always been part of our plan to have like this middle period after cruising without kids, now having young kids, we want to have like a home base, which we now have in our property in northern Michigan. And a trailerable boat means that we're not stuck just sailing in one location. We're not stuck just sailing up in the Great Lakes or having to travel to our boat and living out of a boatyard for part of the year as we get the boat ready and tear it down. So the trailerable trimaran is going to allow us to sail at home in our home cruising waters of the Great Lakes and take a couple of trips over the next few years to some other fun destinations.
Like the Pacific Northwest, or the Maritimes in Canada, the Sea of Cortez, back to the Bahamas because they're the best.
Not to mention all of the other benefits of having a trailerable boat, like being able to do the maintenance in our own backyard right next to our house, and saving costs on stepping the mast and storing the boat at a boatyard.
Being able to haul the boat ourselves.
Being able to haul the boat behind Chip. So what about this F-33? Our first impression was that we found the model we were looking for. It felt only slightly smaller in salon space than the Tartan, but larger in other areas like the V-berth and of course, the deck space. This specific F-33 though, probably wouldn't be the one. One of the biggest reasons was that it had a sail drive, which eats up a ton of usable space under the cockpit, and it would also prevent us from being able to beach the boat.
Unfortunately, at the time, we didn't realize how few of these boats would hit the market over the next year, and we began thinking about having one built.
We've got a beautiful day here for a nice downwind sail about 40 miles from Cayo Costa to Venice.
We're jumping ahead now to spring 2021. It's our first and only season on the Tartan with Renata, though at this point, we didn't know it.
We also had no idea that Hurricane Ian would completely decimate the coast that we were just sailing along. And that after we sold our beloved Tartan 37, she would end up in the middle of Hurricane Ian in Fort Myers. She was dismasted, incredibly beaten up,
But she's still floating.
still floating. Yeah. We're keeping in touch with the new owner to see what's going to happen to her. Hurricanes have been a major source of stress for us ever since we made it to saltwater on our boat.
So having a trailerable boat means that we can pull our boat out of the hurricane box during hurricane season.
And keep it safe.
The reason we're excited to head north is we are going to the Sarasota Multi-Hull Regatta to check out 2 sailboats that we are very interested in purchasing. Neither of them are for sale, but the model of sailboat. Hi, baby girl. I love. Bye. That way I go. We've been very interested in the Farrier 33 Trimaran, one more recently built around 2014. The builder of that boat is still building boats in the Philippines, and we may have him build a boat for us. But before we committed to such an audacious plan, we really wanted to see one of his boats in person. Just like that, I saved 300 bucks. Pretty sweet.
So that very first boat, the Corsair 31 that we saw in 2019,
almost completely dashed our plans for looking at Trailerable Trimarans.
It seemed really small. Like there was no way that we could sail on this thing for more than a long weekend.
There was no standing headroom. I could not put my arms out without hitting the sides. It looked like this crazy idea was kind of done on the spot.
But then we found the F-33, which is only a couple feet longer.
Right, and a foot wider.
A totally different boat.
And that makes all the difference in the world. So after getting aboard the first F-33,
we were like, yes, this is
it.
The boat.
This could work. We could do this for a while.
There was even a dining table. A dining table. Then we went up to Sarasota, saw a couple more 33s, and then started having second thoughts.
Started thinking about the standing headroom that I had, which was kind of like this, and how much on the tartan that little tiny bit of extra headroom that I needed really changed the way I felt about the boat and how comfortable it was to be aboard.
I mean, it was causing like neck and back pain.
Yes.
Like, it was causing medical issues. Lucky for us.
Lucky for us.
A month later,
we ran into Billy and Sierra on the new Corsair 880. It's all right. We'll have a little guy's day. That's all right.
Give you guys day.
Which is an even smaller boat than the 33. I think it's only 29 feet.
Or
and
28.5.
Somehow those magicians at Corsair were able to eke out 6'3.5" standing headroom in a 29-foot Trailable Trimaran. This is the crazy part. Full standing headroom, freaking incredible. Despite being a significantly smaller boat, I was blown away. I was like, wow, like that extra 1.5 inches makes all of the difference in the world for me.
Sorry, I hit your ding.
That's all right. It's meant to be bumper card, and we realized that the F-33 really probably wasn't going to work for us. I have to be able to stand up in my boat.
So we didn't really know how long of a boat we were going to be getting. We just needed to find a tall
boat.
You picked the wrong hobby.
Yeah.
Sailing, cruising is not a great hobby for tall people. Anyone 10 and under, you guys have the
don't have
pick
any of
of
those
the
problems.
market.
any sort of like railing or anything anywhere would have been an issue. But bigger boat, a few minor tweaks, and I think this would be pretty awesome. Behind the scenes Tula edition.
I just point and press the red button, that's it.
Did you just really compare this sporty trimaran to an O'Day?
I did. I feel like I'm back to sailing the O'Day.
Yeah.
It's just faster.
And how many waves did you take to the face in the cockpit of your O'Day?
Not many.
Yeah. This is pretty awesome, Lauren. I'm with you here. I think this is our future. The stability, that's for some reason I feel like I'm
Took that one to the face. Now I'm being waterboarded.
One of them hauled out of the water, right?
Yeah, it's out of the water.
Making sure.
getting a little crazy with the double head sails. I've had a perma grin. This has been fun.
So what about this 880? As a brand new model on the market, for us it was a lot of money for a 29-foot boat, even given the copious amounts of headroom. Besides the price, we'd be looking at a long wait to get one. Corsair had pre-sold every boat they could build over the next 2 years. But even though this wasn't our boat, after sailing it, we were even more stoked on Trailerable trimarans.
That was freaking awesome. Thank you, Billy and Sierra, for letting us come out here.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
So with the 880 not really even being an option,
And the Corsair 31 being too small in every direction,
the F33 being too short, now what?
what do we do next?
We try to go bigger.
Bigger!